took 5 different editors. I went through 5 editors to finally get the cut that I liked. You know, because there was no storyboards, there was no shot list. It was me, you know, with an idea. You know what I mean? And I knew the material better than anybody else. You know what I mean? You know, but I didn't have anything else but what was in my head. You know, so yeah, it was. There's something to be said for ambition and desire. You know.
Eddie, do you know Howard Nash?
He sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's an independent movie producer. He's done some movies with Ice-T. This character right here, the legendary Dark Silhouette, was a comic book that I created. Howard Nash would send me $100 every single year to hold on to the rights of this character so he could make a movie out of it, and he never did. But I miss those.
Can I see that?
I miss.
Hold it up so I can see it.
Oh, sure. Can you see it?
Yeah, what's on the head? I can't really see the head.
Oh, that's a huge cape.
Hair.
It's a huge cape.
Looks like hair.
Yeah, but it's actually a cape, and he's gonna slap you, Phil. Boom. Okay.
The cape that's attached to his head. Like King Tut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's Egyptian, right?
No, he's not Egyptian. It's a long story, but anyway. But he's not.
You made that character?
Yeah. I made several characters, but he's one of them. He's one of my. In fact, I have to show you this. Now that you're talking about this, this drawing is of my character shaking hands with Spider-Man. Marvel Comics actually published this in one of their magazines, officiating my character in the Marvel Universe.
What?
Yep.
So what happened?
I don't know. I mean, I asked him, I said, you promised me that you're going to start making the movie this year, but you're not. You know, so, I was just asking him, and he got kind of insulted. And then after that, I didn't hear from him anymore. I asked him if he wanted to be on this show. I asked him if he wanted to be on this show, and he doesn't. He just ghosted me.
Is that the same character of the toy that's behind you?
Yes, same one.
Okay. So he's like a super.
He's a superhero.
Oh, superhero. He's
Yeah,
a good guy.
Huh?
He's a good guy or a bad guy?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you call him?
The legendary Dark Silhouette. And the reason why he's legendary is because his future has already transpired, but he's living in the present. So it's kind of complicated.
Now, do you want a comic book of him?
Yes. Yeah.
You did it?
One comic book. Yep. It's the only comic book I ever published. All my other books are just about the paranormal.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway,
you guys are paranormal. So did you guys ever see anything?
Oh yeah. I've been on 2,500 investigations, and I've seen 4 full body apparitions. Only 4 out of 2,500. So it's a rarity. But Xandean used to be in my club, HPI, Halo Paranormal Investigations. Tim writes paranormal books, and you'll find some of my articles in Tim's books. Phil, he likes to go on Google Maps and find ghosts. I kid you not.
Yeah, they're out there.
UFO, especially UFO.
Oh yeah, UFOs, yeah. UFO and cryptids. We do cryptids. In fact, if we were in Ohio with Eddie, we would be chasing a melon head.
Yeah. Been attacked this so many times, it's not even funny, but don't see much up there.
A like the urban legends. I finally watched Mothman last night. I wish Steve were here because that was a terrible movie with Richard Gere.
Oh yeah. It's terrible.
And I still don't understand the folklore behind it, or why it even got a Hollywood movie. Because I'm from New Jersey originally. The Jersey Devil has been around since the 1700s. The backstory, there's a real place where he was born, Leeds Point. It's in Smithsville, New Jersey.
Yeah.
There's a hockey team named after him. He's literally the Bigfoot of the East Coast, and there's never been one decent movie made about him. And here there's a movie with Richard Gere in it about apparition shaped like a moth that supposedly caused a bridge to collapse in West Virginia.
I
Nobody
remember
gives a
that
shit
movie
about
now. I
Jersey
saw it
Devil.
in the 90s. Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't know. Watching it, besides the fact that it was just a shitty movie, I felt insulted. I'm like, why doesn't anybody? I mean, you want to make a movie about the cryptids? That is the East Coast cryptid.
Yeah.
There's no Blair Witch.
There was a movie I watched on VHS called The Jersey Devil. Do you remember that? It was like a found footage movie.
Yeah.
It was probably shit.
And Phil, they've done other movies on cryptids like the Boggy Creek Monster.
Yes,
And those, I love the 70s
was
stuff.
VHS.
I do like the low budget 70s stuff. I have a special place in my heart for that stuff. But I mean, the fact that there was a big budget for the Mothman thing, and there's an actual Mothman museum. And I mean, I went to the New Jersey Devil's grave when I was a kid. We had field trips about this stuff. We were taught about it in school. I mean, there's pictures of it. He had a grave, a headstone, and a footstone. The footstone said he lives again. Are there any other professional sports teams in the United States named after a cryptid?
No.
Are there the Oregon Bigfoots that I don't know? The Colorado Sasquatches? I've never heard of that. I mean, it just seems like we're getting slighted. And I love Traumaville, and I love the Toxic Avenger, and that's all cool, but, I mean, come on, step it up, give us something.
Eddie, are you going to do any more movies? Are you thinking about doing any more horror?
Yeah, I just did a Google search, Phil, and it says there are 5 films in Wikipedia about the Jersey Devil. Are you familiar with all of them?
I saw one which was lackluster, and I don't know about the other 4.
There's The Barons, 2012.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I haven't seen
Releases
it.
Jersey Devil in some territories.
Yeah.
Bloodlines, The Jersey Devil Curse, 2022. Carney, 2009.
I think I saw
Plus a
Carney.
few lower budget titles if you count every Tag B movie or documentary.
The Barons was pretty good. I kind of liked it. It sort of reminded me of what's the movie with those kids? It was like a reality show, and Blair Witch Project. It was sort of like that.
Blair Witch was huge.
Yeah.
And that's not even a real thing. That was actually something they made up.
Yeah.
We had the Pineys growing up because I lived in the Pine Barrens, and then the Pineys were people like the Jackson Whites. You ever hear the Jackson Whites?
No.
Jackson Whites are a group of people outside of New York that lived in the woods. That were a combination of prisoners, escaped slaves, and albinos. An unusually high population of albinos that lived in the forests out there. And if you got lost out there, you wouldn't be heard from again. And there's been a lot of stories over the years of like the old Route 70 that would go out through the Pine Barrens to Pennsylvania, where like you just didn't want to pull over on the side of the road. These Pineys would go out there and like roadkill to eat, things like that. And, you just didn't want to go out there. There was a place called Sarkos where there was this old town where they used to mine gypsum, and we went out there 4-wheeling as kids. And I'm not joking. Out there in the middle of this place where we were 4-wheeling, there's a ship. I don't mean a boat. I mean a ship. In the middle of the woods. There's no lake there. There's a ship. And what happened was was, I guess, somewhere around the late 1800s, early 1900s, they actually diverted enough water into the Pine Barrens because that's the largest source of fresh water in the East Coast. It's all cedar water, so it looks brown, but it's fresh. But they had a plan at one time to bring that water into New York because the drinking water in New York was completely trash and was making everybody sick. But they ended up not doing it. But anyways, all that water, they created a lake back there, and they brought a ship into that area, and they used that ship with those water cannons to do strip mining for gypsum. And when they were done, they just left the ship out there, and the whole lake bed dried up. So there's this old rotting, like late 1800s, early 1900s, World War I era-ish rotting ship out in the middle of the Pine Barrens, as well as an old town that was, abandoned. It's just really eerie out there. One of my high school friends got drunk out there, and something happened. He got kicked out of him, got 3 fingers cut off, and ended up like crawling out of the woods. And just not a place you want to get caught alone.
What is the Jersey Devil? What is it?
The New Jersey Devil. What happened was in the late 1700s, there was a town called Smithsville, and it was owned by a family. I shouldn't say owned, but a family of note there named Leeds was from England, and an old woman named Martha Leeds had 12 children. There's different stories, but one was that her husband was away and she got pregnant again with her 13th child. When the when she found that she was pregnant, she cursed the child, said something to the effect, "I wish this child were a devil," or she wished she didn't have the child, tried to abort it, something to that effect. When she was going into labor, there was a great storm in the Pine Barrens, and anyways, so she was giving birth, and her and the 2 midwives were in this, dank cabin or wherever they were at Leeds Point. And when the baby comes out, one of the midwives held the baby up by the firelight, and the baby transformed into a devil, killed the mother and the 2 midwives, and then flew out of the cabin, and has haunted the New Jersey Pine Barrens ever since, and killed many people in the Pine Barrens who wander off the beaten path. Teenagers. It's almost like the guy with the hook story, if you go out there to make out in the woods and try to get laid, the guy with the hook's going to get you, well, the Jersey Devil's going to get you, that type of thing. A lot of different stories about going out and making out in the van, and then, you hear the knock on the van, let me go out and check, yeah, the Jersey Devil gets you. A lot of those type of stories. But there was also a craze in the 1930s where there were mass sightings of it everywhere, and it was all over the newspapers from New York, Pennsylvania, down to New Jersey. People don't realize the largest forest on the East Coast is the New Jersey Pine Barrens. It's just pines, and it's really eerie because it's almost like a sand bottom, and these massive 100-foot tall pine trees that grow in it that don't have much of a root structure, so they kind of fall over easily at some points. And when you get lost in there, you lose all sense of direction. It's a very creepy place. But that, along with the brown water, which is drinkable and clean, but it has a weird tint to it, just makes it an eerie environment. Bruce Springsteen wrote that song, Something in the Night. In the night. Anyways, so he mentions a place called Greasy Lake, and that's in the Pine Barrens in that song.
It's funny, he keeps talking about through the pines. I keep thinking in my head, Nirvana. My girl.
Yeah.
Where did you sleep
last night?
And what's kind of interesting about the Jersey Devil is in Puerto Rico, there's 2 types of chupacabras. The one in Texas looks like a coyote with mange, and then you got the Puerto Rican chupacabra that has little wings and sucks blood out of chickens and stuff like that. Well, one of the witnesses to the chupacabra in Puerto Rico, which is no way like the chupacabra from Texas, and they said the very first thing that came out of their mouth is it reminded them of the Jersey Devil, because this one had like a goat's face and little wings.
That Derry, Welcome to Derry, the TV show Derry, they had a baby flying around with wings. I wonder if that's where they got that from, Phil.
I wouldn't be surprised. There was an old tavern that had a painting of the New Jersey Devil of it, and that tavern burnt down. The only thing that survived in the whole fire was the painting itself. Even the frame burned, but the picture survived. There's all sorts of eerie, little weird stories about the Jersey Devil that we grew up with, about that kind of thing. So everybody who grew up in New Jersey is kind of familiar with that.
Eddie, that's going to be your next movie.
I love telling those stories. My grandfather used to tell us all sorts of stories like that. We used to go canoeing through the Pine Barrens, through the creeks in the Pine Barrens, and it is a beautiful environment, but it is kind of eerie out there too. And the Pineys are a real thing. There are people that live out there off grid.
Now, is that because like here in Ohio we have, like you said, we have the melon heads, and it also goes like up into Michigan. I think it.
Michigan, Connecticut.
And Connecticut, yes, Connecticut, yeah. I should know this. I did research. But like someone out like in Sedona or like out in Denver, they're not going to know who the melon heads are. As far as the Jersey Devil, is it like this North Coast thing, East Coast? Like how many states?
Whole state knows about the Jersey Devil. It's
just Jersey though, or New York, or anything? Well, Maine, Connecticut.
I'd say everybody from the tri-state area pretty much knows about it because everybody vacations to the Jersey Shore. You see, everybody from Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, and the weekends in the summertime, they all go down to the Jersey Shore for vacations. And like I said, in the 1930s, there was that craze where there were these sightings, and I've even seen old newspaper clippings of it where they had, here's the footprint of the New Jersey Devil, and you see a New Jersey state trooper holding up this footprint of, what looks like a giant mountain lion footprint or something like that. Or, we saw glowing embers in the forest, and, it went over there and the devil was gone or something like that. Somebody was on a train going through and they saw it fly up. A woman saw it on the roof of her house. There's been sightings for the last 200 plus years. There was also a story that the child may have been something wrong with it, not necessarily a devil, but a child they hid from society and wouldn't let because of Down syndrome or some type of deformity, and so they hid it from the town and kept it out in the woods, kind of thing, and just the elderly people took care of it, kind of thing. So there's several different probably more than several. There's a lot of stories about it. I always thought it would have made a good one, like maybe an M. Night Shyamalan type thing, or somebody with some vision, to really do it some justice. I've heard it, it's the protector of the forest. That's a nice spin on it too, but I think it deserves a bit more. I think the Bigfoot thing deserves a better story. There's been so much schlock made about that, and some of it's fun.
Well,
$6 Million Man was one of my favorites. But
Phil, you probably like Harry and the Hendersons.
That's great. I love Harry and the Hendersons.
We were talking about doing a Bigfoot. I'm not sure there's so many on.
There are.
It's like, is there still a love for that monster?
Oh yeah.
There is. There always will be. My favorite is In Search of, the Leonard Nimoy version of it. That's my favorite one still.
Hey, Eddie, everybody, listen. We got 4 minutes. This is going to shut down. We're going to take a 10-minute break. And Eddie, you'll be sent a second link along with everybody else. And then click on that second link and we're back on the show again. So it's going to shut down in about 3 minutes. And then and just wait 10 minutes and I'll send you the second link, okay? Okay, cool.
Eddie, I got one for you, Eddie. I got one for you, Eddie. Everybody's tripping. They're confused. They don't know if demons are aliens or aliens are demons. Some people are separate or both of them are together. But there could be a horror movie where you can really play on that and really take it to them about that demon alien thing. People are scared of that shit. So,
I know.
Just a thought about it.
Yeah, what is it?
The cars, they're like, well, I call Jesus' name and then they say that the alien stops. So some people on that school of thought. Some people are like, well, there really is. and some people just don't know, but it's a lot of, yeah.
Is
Do
that
you remember back in 1997? Do you remember this? I don't know if you guys. I think they called it the Arizona Lights. Do you guys?
Yeah.
Phoenix
Phoenix.
Lights.
My brother was living in Phoenix when that happened.
Well, I think I was in the Denny's parking lot going to meet this girl, waiting for her, and I saw the lights come over, like over my head. I remember
Okay.
seeing them,
Okay.
and they were like gold. It looked like a big stealth bomber. You know what I mean? I thought it was military.
Wow.
You know, and they had like the gold lights on it. I remember seeing that thing. I remember like calling my dad. I'm like, Dad, I just saw a UFO. And he's like, you're full of shit. You know, you're lying to me. And then the news came on that night, and they were talking about the lights that were, but they were here though. But they also, I think, I don't know why they called it the Phoenix, but people saw them here in Ohio. And
Well,
I was one of them.
oh yeah, Phoenix Lights. Because it actually went over Phoenix and it hovered at Phoenix.
You wonder, was it military? Because it looked like, but then again, I saw it, man. Like I saw the white, the gold lights. It kind of looked like what the stealth birds look like now, like you know that Raider bomber they have. You know what I mean? Yeah, it looked like that. But this is what 97. How many years ago? It's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I doubt they had that then.
And think of all the people that saw the Phoenix Lights. I mean, my own brother was living in Phoenix at the time, and he stepped out in his balcony and he saw it.
Yeah,
well, you know,
it went really fast. What's that?
Oh no, go ahead.
No, it went really fast, but not fast enough where I couldn't see it. You know what I mean? But it did look alien. Straight up, it did look alien. You know, I'm not saying it was.
Huh? It felt otherworldly, didn't it?
It did. It felt otherworldly. That's a beautiful way to describe it. Yes, it did.
You know, a lot. The thing about it is, I believe, even though you said you think it's just because it wasn't Phoenix, I've seen stuff where like you can see at Mount Shasta, and then the same thing at Joshua Tree, and you're like, wow, like what's the connection? I mean, exact like same type of. It's like something different. You know, if you get them both to compare, you're like, wow. Well, I mean, it's not that you see it at the same time, but I don't know how small the sky is or what point of center it is, but it's the same thing in two different areas. So I see how that can happen.
Yeah. You know, it makes you wonder why are they hiding from us? So, do you know what I mean?
They don't.
You know what I mean? Why? Why are they hiding?
They're so.
People tend to worship that stuff.
Yeah, they're so intelligent. They don't need to contact us. I mean, they're almost in control of the whole Earth. With underground bases and everything else. Yeah, it's just like us looking at an ant.